Here's Formula One Open as we take the lineup there. Very classy looking field as well. Kevy Beaumont, good on you, Kev. Lovely to see. Yes, indeed. Beaker's made it there. So top performance there from Kev, who will be one of the stars, I'm sure, on that big, beautiful bike. The 17 of Dale Fitch there, along with the 54 of Johnny Lewis. Not as classy a qualifier from Heath Boddicker. I see Heath back on the third row, so something not quite as perfect for Heath on that occasion. Very unusual for the 167. As we just watched 42 getting in the right place. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 with 3 back there as well. Looks to be Barry. I think he's doing back-to-back as he's doing a Bears Formula One. Oh, he is indeed. Oh, how about that? How about that? There he goes. Got to be the slowest bike out there in the field, whereas last time, of course, he was one of the fastest. He was the biggest by CC capacity, and he takes the field under control and into what is not a bad last place at this stage. So good on you, Barry. Lovely to see. Aprilia, of course, an Italian bike, so it fits into the Bears. The E of European of the word Bears, B for British, E for European, A for American. Bears Racing. Of course, remembering that there was a particular bike way back in the 90s, our own New Zealand-made Britain, that fitted into the Bears category, and realising effectively it wasn't any of the powerhouses of the Japanese factory. So we're very lucky, in fact, to have sort of had a Bears. As some people wrote the word Bears, instead of having the S on the end, they put a Z, and that was the way it was campaigned. So as we know, with a lot of word, you get the likes of rules and other quite agitative words that you can use and put a Z on the end of them, and that's exactly what they did with Bears Racing for the New Zealand. There we go. So looking out, Dale Fisher, Seth Devereux. Oh, Dale in there. The boys have got it at the moment. Kev Beaumont's gone back to third. Well, now I hadn't even spotted Seth. Where had he qualified? Where had he qualified? He's gone up into our Bears Formula One today. Or Bears Formula One and Opens. That means that as an open class, effectively means that he can have the slightly smaller bike, the 675, and put himself into that group. Well, one thing about the MV Augusta and the Triumph, of course, they use a very similar engine configuration. They are a triple. They're both 675cc. They're both 4-strokes. So a common interest of motorcycle engineering excellence between MV Augusta and Triumph Factory. So there's your update at the moment. Dale Finch, Seth Devereux, Kevin Beaumont, Johnny Lewis, Wayne Pickard in there. And there's a go past. Will be Seth out in front ahead of Dale. He's got the longer legs. He seems to have longer legs on that one. I'm just looking and seeing what's his colour scheme, because it doesn't look to be the normal colour scheme of Seth on the bike. So unsure as to what he's got out there, whether he's just changed the livery, whether he's had never mind, he's really got a lot of bright orange up the front of his bike. But he had, of course, this is a man who won on the hill climb at the best overall time. And looking at that, now here's Dale Finch. Look at that from Dale, beautiful to watch. Dale, look, he can weave his magic down through the Macaulay S's. Fantastic to watch. Goes through the left, peels into the right, goes down through to the brickyard before making his turn and coming back here, and then down to the elbow before coming on the front straight. So nice to see Seth and Dale, the battle on out there. Kev Beaumont, Johnny Lewis, Wayne Pickard, Heath Boddicker, Bill Moffat in there as well. Bill had some problems here the other day. Dropped the oil out just to check it, and unfortunately a tooth came out as well. Never a good sign, so had to do some gearbox work. There we go. Definitely it's Seth, but he's on a different bike. He's on a completely different bike. I've missed that understanding. So Seth is out there on a different bike, and not in our program. So, but more importantly, he's got the transponder, so we can see it is him with his gear. I'm not sure who's the bike machine is, so I'll be keen to find that out. Who's he been able to steal a bike off? But great to watch all the same. And presumably a bike that he's not had a lot of lap time on. So the work with Dale Finch to go. And that's why I got the idea it was another bike as well, because the way he went past Dale here on the front straight gave me the idea that it was a way faster bike than his conventional 675, because being up against Dale, who is also campaigning a 675, you wouldn't get that disparity of one being much quicker than the other. Normally around that same CC mark, they are generally a similar speed. So they're watching Seth as he pulls away. Can he get the advantage at the moment? So nice to see with Seth Devereaux. So great to watch. Unsure about the bike. We'll try and find that out. So Bears action as he pulls out a bit of a buffer. Oh, it's on a Ducati. Thank you indeed. On a Ducati that he's riding here today. So Seth Devereaux. Well, it's, he earns that respect, folks. He's earned that respect, man. What a fantastic year this man is having at the moment. And he's taken a fantastic victory at round number 2 of our NZSBK New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship at Timaru just last month, 4 weeks ago in fact, and here he is now putting in this exciting display on a borrowed bike, completely something foreign that he wouldn't normally be riding. He's going to create an incredible CV actually with what he has been riding. Bikes like Motard machines, so he's been on Husabergs, he's been on KTMs, in road racing, of course, he's been on Kawasaki's and now on Triumphs, and here he is coming out today for a Ducati ride. So great to see how well he's going. Seth Devereaux on the Ducati. It's actually been written down as 121, so unsure as to who the bike owner is, but more importantly, it's Seth on the bike. That's what we're after. Seth Devereaux, Dale Finch on the Hallicraft supported MV Augusta. So nice work by Dale out there with Night and Day Stores and Joe's Garage. He found all those great facilities, of course, around. So the man from Queenstown, Dale Finch, and some great work by Dale. I talked to Dale this morning. I said, Dale, you tempted to do the Speedway? No, I'm just doing the motorbikes now. 2 times New Zealand under-21 Speedway champion. He could well be in a top placing if he went over to O'Reilly Park for a Speedway racing later today, but he's settled now on doing road racing. He came out of Speedway, did some motocross, very accomplished in that as well, and now here he is having go at road racing, only his 2nd season. So he's making an outstanding effort and riding this very beautiful bike, the MV Augusta. So great work by him. Seth Devereaux, Dale Fitch, Johnny Lewis out there now on the Ducati Panigale, a new bike that he's only got late in the year. Well, Barry Summers doesn't make it any disgrace, does he, out there? He might be last in the field. But he's got Paul Botter on the Ducati Super Duke and Tony Campbell in front of him on the Aprilia Millet RSV. White flag for our race lead. There it is all on. I tell you what, Dale Fitch wants to still have a go, doesn't he? He still wants to go as they round the big corner here at Teretonga. And looking good. It's called the loop, folks. It's called the loop, and it does go round and round and round. Look at that for a beautiful corner, and the geometry of it is absolutely superb. The engineers that designed it all those years ago, 1953, I think this circuit was first used. The world's most southern race circuit, New Zealand's oldest and most established road race circuit, and still in the hands of the Southland Sports Car Club. So fantastic to see the asset that's been made from those years ago into what is now this fantastic facility. Seth Devereaux, Dale Fitch, Johnny Lewis, Kevin Beaumont, Wayne Pickard. Then to watch on the 31, didn't spot Wayne's name. Oh, there he is on the 81, sorry. He too on the MV Augusta, courtesy of Hauler Engineering. And there's our checkered flag, and what a charge for the line. So well done to Seth. So Seth takes the win. And Dale Fitch gets the 2nd place. 3rd as we then go to Johnny Lewis. We'll take that delegate 3rd spot. 4th then going to Kev Beaumont, who was right up there from the early part of the race. In fact, I wonder whether that was Seth that actually had pole. I was giving the credit to Kevin. Maybe it was Seth because they were on similar bikes. In fact, I'm wondering whether that's one of the bikes out of Kevin's stable that Seth may be riding as well. So that could be something to look out for. He didn't give me any heads up. I saw him this morning. Normally, if he was to be riding another bike, I'm sure he would have given us a little bit of sneak preview and said, hey, Neil, we're on board with this other bike today. But anyway, under the radar, you might like to call it. So hearty congrats to him. As we then look out to our 5th place in the field with Wayne Pickard. So there you have it in the update for E. Hayes and Son. Now, Bears Formula 1 Open.